And I ended up dating this guy that was the all-star of the gym. And he was like a UFC prospect at the time. And, well, what's fucked up is he was abusive.
Physically abusive?
Physically abusive. I was in an abusive relationship, and I was stuck with him. I was stuck on lease with him. So financially, I was fucked. Politically, I was fucked because my coach told me not to get him locked up in jail because he was like the next guy. Yeah.
What's his name? Say his fucking name. Did he even get to the UFC?
Nope. He ended up turning into a stripper.
Tight,
fucking
dude.
Stripper.
This fool's just fucking using his jujitsu on dicks now, huh? Look at that. That's
pretty
tight.
much. This guy named Mike Wade.
Mike Wade, you fucking bitch. You probably kill me if you met me in person. But you don't live in California, do you?
He's a fucking little bitch. And
bitch. Fuck you, Mike Wade. You can wait on these nuts, bitch. Oh, God. He's probably still really buff because he's a stripper.
He's a fucking stripper. He's doing steroids. He's selling coke. I don't know what the fuck else he's doing, but he's not winning at life at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was fucking abusive. And I tried to fucking leave, and there was just so many ways I was fucked. Financially, I was stuck with him on a lease. And the thing is, the lease wouldn't let me out. I was co-signed with him because his credit sucked, and I had awesome 800 credit score, bitch. So they took the average of 600, and that's how we even got the apartment. So we lived together, and he ended up having a fucking DUI. So I had to drive him around and shit. And then we're stuck on this damn lease, and he wouldn't sign me out. The only way I could get out of the lease is be signed out. Or I would have to pay a $3,500 termination fee, which I didn't have. And my parents didn't know I was living together with someone because my parents were traditional, and they're like, you can't live with anyone until you're married type of thing. So they didn't know any of this, and I had to keep a secret. And the next thing you know, I can't get him locked up because of my gym and my career. If I get him locked up and fuck up my coach, that fucks up my career in turn of that. And on top of that, I couldn't get out the lease unless I had a police report. But I'm not allowed to lock him up in jail because I'd be fucked politically and my career-wise. So I was just fucked all the way around. And I was just trying to think of a way out, and I couldn't. And at first, it was crazy. Like, everything went so well for the first 8 months. 8 months. That's a long time to upkeep a fake facade.
Yeah, usually that shit comes out pretty quick.
Nah, this dude, I'm pretty sure he was a fucking sociopath, because I talked to people about this, because everyone, it was so many things. We had so many mutual friends just because of the MMA circuit. I knew this dude from like a long time ago, and I always avoided dating him because honestly, I didn't want to date him. He just fucking claimed me, which I was pissed. But it was whatever. So I already knew him 3 years before we started dating.
It's a long time.
And I always avoided him because I don't want to date within my industry. And so next thing you know, he is talking to me and stuff. And when we were talking, he was telling me how he was getting his second master's degree and shit like that. And I was like, oh, okay. So he has a brain. He's not some douchebag meathead and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, he seems not too bad. So I was like cool with him. Then one day he came up to Richmond and was like, oh yeah, I'm in town and stuff. Do you want to hang out with me and my cousin? And we hung out and stuff. And then next thing you know, we hooked up, and even though it was kind of like, it felt kind of forced at the time. But it ended up being like pretty good. So I was like, all right, well, at least the sex was kind of good. So fuck it. I guess it's cool. So we just kept kind of hooking up for a little bit. And I kind of want to keep a secret. I wanted to keep a secret. I didn't want anyone to know about it because I didn't want to get involved with anyone within MMA. And even though he wasn't in my gym, he was under the same franchise of the gym I was at, even though he lived like 3.5 hours away. Next thing you know, he ends up moving up to my gym. He moves up to my gym, and he was at a party with my teammates, and on the phone, he just fucking claimed me and told everyone that I was his girlfriend. And I was just like, well, what the fuck? Like, we're supposed to keep this shit a secret. Yeah. And now everyone knows well, all right, cool, I guess. And everything was going well at the time. So I thought it was cool and everyone liked him. He was a good liar. Everyone liked him, thought he was a good person. And I thought he was a good person all the way until 6 months after we move in together. We're in together 2 months in. And then one day we get in a fucking argument over something so dumb. We got in arguments over so many things I can't remember, but I think it was one of the times where he got angry at me because my hair was on the floor. You know how people shed? Girls' hair
like
shed?
A motherfucker. Yeah.
He got mad because naturally my hair shed in the bathroom floor and he started yelling at me about that. I was like, what the fuck? And stuff. And we got in an argument and next thing you know, he picked me up my neck and threw me. Yeah. And strangled me. And that was the first time I was like in shock. I was like, I'm in an abusive relationship and I didn't know how to get out.
Yeah.
And during this time I was like, and the crazy thing is I was doing well in my career at the time. I was doing well in MMA. And at this time I was already getting a fan base and women would tell me and say they look up to me and how strong of a woman I am. And here I am getting abused. And it just wasn't a good look all the way around.
That made you feel like a fraud.
Yeah, it made me feel like I couldn't talk to anyone. I had to keep everything secret.
Yeah, because you had to keep up that front. Because it's like, well, these people look up to me. And then if you kind of put into this weird situation, you feel like you don't have anybody to talk to because you're supposed to be everybody's role model.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And no one knew about it. I couldn't tell my friends. I couldn't tell anyone. And the few people I did tell that I was friends with at the gym, like I don't know if they believed me. Only one guy believed me, but also the politics of it was he was the biggest dude. This dude was like 215 pounds of muscle. Fucking.
Oh shit, he's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Like even though he could cut down and fight to 170, but he walked around 215. So I was 121 at the time. I'm tiny and he's a pro fighter. Like what the fuck am I going to do to him? Like there's nothing I can do. And so, and all the people, even the ones who did believe me at the gym, wouldn't stand up for me because they were too scared that he would beat them up because he does. He kind of just bullies everyone at the gym and stuff. So they were too scared to piss him off, and everyone's on his fucking dick because like he's supposed to be a next UFC prospect and shit. So everyone's just like all like, oh my God, Mike, you know, like it's some bullshit. So because of that, like people, and it fucking like, it hurt me because I was at this gym for like 5.5 years. I was there way before he was there. And then so quickly I see people's true colors and they jump ship and take his side and say that I'm the crazy one, that I'm the, like, I've done shit. Like I'm so quiet and shy. They think that I'm the fucking crazy one that started shit, but that's because he was so good at putting up this front that he was such a good guy. Yeah. So no one believed me, and the ones who did, they wouldn't stick up for me. So I felt stuck in this situation. And at the time, you know, I did love him at the time. And I guess I had abused woman syndrome a little bit when I was there. And I guess I didn't realize the severity of the matter. And it got to a point where one night we were laying on the couch watching Netflix, watching this one documentary called like Who the Fuck Did I Marry on Mystery ID. And one episode was about a husband and wife, and the husband was abusive and the wife tried to leave him and he shot her in the back of the head and killed her. Oh, shit. And he turned around and said to me, that's what I'm gonna do to you if you ever try to leave me. And I took it as a joke. I'm like, funny. Like I didn't take it serious. But then a few months later, like a few months had passed. A few months later, we're watching another episode. And again, he goes, that's what I'm going to do to you if you ever leave me.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, yeah. And the thing is, and he said to me in the past before that if I ever get him locked up, his dad would come and kill me. And his dad was locked up for 10 years for assault. And I started getting a little worried. I was like, okay, months has passed. Obviously, you've been thinking about this shit. And then he said it again. So then the third time he said it, he had bought a gun. He bought a gun and kept it loaded in front of us, in front of the living room table where we laid. And I thought to myself, oh my God, this guy's going to kill me for real.
Yeah.
And he said it again the third time. And I got like kind of worried. And I was like, what the hell? Like, why do you keep saying this? At this point, like 8.5 months had passed. And I was like, why do you keep saying this? It's been 8.5 months. This is the third time you said it to me. Like, are you trying to kill me or something? And he's like, oh no, I love you. I would never do that. Blah, 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 blah. And then I thought to myself, dude, he's legit going to kill me. And I had to figure out a way to get out of the situation. So instead, I told him I was going to move all my summer stuff or my winter stuff to my parents' place and move all my summer stuff in. And I was going to switch stuff out. But really, I was packing all my important stuff. And he was helping me move the boxes into my car. I had the doors open on both sides. And I had this giant ass box. I can't see where I'm going. And next thing you know, he's yelling at me. He's like, open the fucking doors. And I'm like, the doors are open. And he's like, open the fucking doors. I'm going to throw all your shit on the floor. And at the time, I was doing graphic design. That was like kind of my job. And I had my computer in there. That's my work. And I was like, no, my computer is in there. Don't throw it on the ground. If it's too heavy and you can't hold it, put it on top of the car or put it on the ground. Next thing you know, he goes, I'm in the middle of putting the shit in my car. And as I'm putting in, I hear him go, nope. And by the time I turn around, he chucks all my shit. He's like 6'1". He's like holding on a pair. He chucks it up and drops all my shit on the ground. And my computer's fucking in there.
This guy's a psychopath.
He's fucking psycho, and I was fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I just fucking told you. And anytime I even say anything back, he gets physical. He gets in my face, and he goes, shut the fuck up, or I will shoot you in the fucking face. And when we go to court, I will just tell the judge that I thought you were an intruder, and that's why I shot you. He said all that shit. And I'm just like thinking to myself, oh my God, how long did he think about all that? Like, how do you think of that? And then all that shit, like, obviously you've been thinking about that shit. And so I told him, I'm like, I'm leaving. And I put the car in my ignition. He breaks the key out of my ignition, cuts my hand open because he was pulling it out of my hand. And luckily at the time, there was a police officer patrolling that area. He goes, can I help you? Is there a problem here? And I was like, yeah, he won't let me leave. And fucking left, never turned back. Went all the way back home to Charlottesville, Virginia, where my parents were. And I was working at my parents' place for 3.5 months, saving up money to come out to California.
Yeah.
And then from that, people got word that I was moving out here, and he heard that I was moving out here. And so he tried to pull some bullshit to keep me from leaving, because he kept apologizing after and trying to get back together with me, but I kept telling him no. And then 2 weeks before I was going to come out here, he pulled some bullshit and went to the cops and told them that I was the one who attacked him and trying to get me locked up in jail. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I went and spent all the money I had saved up on the lawyer. I went to the police place to buy all the call logs of all the times I called the cops on him and had the cops come and escort me out. And I had to do that because I wasn't going to take a chance on getting locked up. And the reason why that is because one of the times that he picked me up by my neck and strangled me, he held me down and choked me until I almost passed out. And I remember right before I was about to black out, I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm going to die tonight if I don't do anything. And instinctually, I grabbed his face and I pushed it, and my nail cut the side of his nose and it was bleeding. I called the cops on him to get them in. And the stupid ass cop, they're supposed to separate you guys and ask you questions separately. But the bitch ass, dumb ass cop, he asked me, do you want to press charges? Right in front of him. He's standing right there, and he's standing behind the cop, and he goes, well, do you? Like mouthing the words, well, do you? You want to press charges on me? Huh? You want to press charges? And at the moment, I was thinking, fuck everything. Fuck my career. Like, fuck this. I'm going to press charge. I'm going to get him locked up and fuck everything. But then when I saw him, I got intimidated. And I told him no. I was like, no. And then the female cop took him outside and asked him questions separately. Of course, he fucking lied and said, I attacked him. And then she came in and she gave me an attitude, and she goes, he told me that you were the one that attacked him. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't say what the fuck. I was like, what? No, I did not. Like, I'm the one who called you guys. I'm like, he strangled me. And I pushed his face away, and that's why I cut him. Yeah. And I'm like, it's like, you're not going to see bruises when you get strangled. It shows up hours later.
Yeah.
And so she told me, I was like, what the hell? I'm like, that's not what happened. And then she told me to shut up or else she's going to take me to jail.
Wow.
I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, are you fucking serious? Like, I can't believe I'm getting the tables turned on me because of his lies. And I wasn't going to ruin my whole life and future because of this motherfucker. So I went and I knew at this time already, when the abuse started happening, I knew that our relationship was going to end in court. Yeah. So one of the times another time he took a belt and whipped me for 30 minutes straight. And I secretly recorded it on my phone.
Oh shit. I was gonna say, like, did you ever record any of these interactions? Because like because this happened so repetitively, it's like, well, now you gotta fucking re-up on this shit, you know?
Yeah. I recorded the whole thing when he was like whipping me and shit and calling me a fucking dog, and when I went to court, I played that in court. And what sucked was I had to play it in front of my dad. Oh, and he heard like everything. Yeah. So like, sorry.
No, it's okay.
So it was like really hard because my parents, like, I had to keep that shit secret. And then it was like my dad had to really hear about all this shit. Yeah. And so after that, I put a restraining order on him, and all the money that I had saved up to go to California, I had like $3,200 at the time. It all went to court fees and lawyers and everything. And after that, I came out to California with $800.
Shit.
Yeah, and when I came out, I had no job, no friends. Like, I didn't know anyone, like nothing. I have no one out here. So I just came out here, and my parents thought everything was fine. And but really, I came out with a shit car. My mom had this BMW, and the thing was, the BMW was a 2001, and you know how BMW have all these electrical problems and shit. Yeah. So it's like, the car, it looked nice because she kept it nice. It's a silver ass BMW, and so I'm getting harassed everywhere. My car is breaking down, and every fucking time I break down, it happens to be in Compton or Inglewood. Yeah. Like, it's in some bull ass shit place, and I'm some shit, like, people are bothering me and stuff. And like $400 here, $400 here, you know, money just went away so quick. Next thing you know, I had nothing. I was sleeping out of my car, and I just had to work random jobs to try and make money because it was so hard to get a fucking job out here. Yeah. And so I was just working in random bars, and I was modeling here and there. I used to do like import modeling and whatever. So sell some merchandise here and there and make some random money here and there. And that would keep me going until, you know, I was kind of up on my feet. Until finally I worked Uber for a while, and then I worked at this music studio and started getting more money. And then when I started getting more money, I ended up investing all my money in my training. So I still stayed in my car because it wasn't enough to be able to do both, you know. Actually, no, at the time I was investing. Oh, I forgot. I also got scammed, I think.
Yeah, girl, you're lucky as shit. This is like the saddest story I've ever heard in my life. You keep on getting fucked over, dude.
Yeah, like I came out here and I decided to quit MMA because I didn't want to run into him because, you know, MMA circle's small. Yeah. I didn't want to run into him, and I was so angry with the MMA community because I'm like, everyone like turned my back on me to take sides with this motherfucker. Like, I don't want to deal with this community anymore, and I fucking want to just pursue music because honestly, that was my first love, was pursuing music. Mm-hmm. And so I came out here to pursue music, and then I think I got fucked over by this fake ass producer that was taking tons of money from me. So all my money that I made, I gave it to him to the point where I just couldn't anymore. And then one of my friends, Cub Swanson, he was talking to me.
Oh, how'd you meet Cub?
When I went out to Albuquerque at Greg Jackson's.
Oh, yeah.
So he's always been really cool with me, and he just gave me advice like, you know, you should get back into MMA. And so because of him saying that, I decided to go back and train. And so that's when I joined up with Black House, and started, spending all my money in there. And I was sleeping on my car until it got to a point where I got enough money to be able to have a place to stay and go train. And then next thing you know, I ended up signed to WWE after that. But
that's fucking crazy. I mean, that whole experience with it's weird because, I think our parents always want us to reach out and ask for their